Welcome back to the TCC podcast after a
long.
Yeah, a unplanned, uncoordinated, about a month-long break. I'll tell you what it was, guys. You know what it was? It was the school holidays. It was the school holidays.
It was summer holidays. It's okay. We were all busy doing our homework. Couldn't do activities.
If we go by that logic, it's still the holidays, so we should be recording now.
Okay, that's this episode over and done with.
But we're in the like AR version of school, not the real world version of school. How do we do this again?
I have no idea. I haven't been here in like.
Hey Anna, you're
2
on
months.
this podcast.
Hello.
You're also joined by Jackie and Alicia.
Heyo.
I was just wondering who was going to go first, but hello. This is why you do it one by one, Brooke.
Arms race. I forgot. I don't know. I don't even know. It's been so long. I don't even know how to podcast anymore.
We're playing podcast chicken for now. Whoever talks first loses. This is the entire podcast now.
I think you just lost.
Silence.
You immediately followed it up. That counts. You lost.
I'm bad at this game. I just like
that's
talking.
That's just Anna IRL, to be honest.
Hey Anna, what should I level at?
306. I feel bad about it.
Gotta get in some heroics. So I guess the elephant in the room is that I have basically disappeared for about 2 weeks because the new World of Warcraft expansion came out. It's like literally there was podcast plans for like the last week that I literally just missed the entire thing.
And the week before that.
I just missed it because I don't hear Discord when I'm in game, and like it got so bad that I've actually given the UK hosts my phone number, because if I'm in World of Warcraft, I'm basically unreachable. It's like pulling me out of the Matrix.
It's extremely bad, actually.
The thing is, you can't even use that as an excuse, because there's been times where I've said the day before,
I know, and that's just poor coordination. Yeah,
we're going to do this, and then it's like, I've been there, Jackie's been there. We just need 3 people for the podcast, and we're all waiting on you.
Yeah,
you know in advance, and then we see you playing World of Warcraft.
I was in Zandalar.
This isn't going ahead,
I was in Zandalar, guys. I'm sorry.
I think what makes it even worse is that you're playing World of Warcraft as we record this.
No, I'm not actually. I have actually closed it.
Oh, really?
Good.
Shit.
I was. Oh no! Wait, no, Anna. If you want to play WoW, I'll open that as well. But I just get so distracted. Like my ADD's bad, and my mind wanders off. Like I'm sure, Elisa, you'll be quite aware about how often I can fiddle with things when editing.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm really sorry about that. Like, if my conscious mind was involved in that process, I would do something about it. So all I can do is apologize.
My favourite ones are when you're like, oh, let me just search that up, and then you just start typing furiously. But because it's relevant to what's going on, I have to make the decision, like, do I leave this typing in because it's what we're talking about, or do I just cut it out?
No, leave it
in. Should I just mute Brooke for the entire podcast because it's so frustrating? It's a difficult decision.
You should be happy it's on me doing it at least, because my keyboard is just way too fucking loud. So.
You got yelled at.
Oh no,
on
I hear your keyboard as well.
Yeah, Anna was on Discord with my guildmates. I think it was yesterday or the day before, and they were like, "Who the fuck is typing so loud?" You get put on blast in that Discord for being noisy.
I get told that like every single time I join any Discord ever, though. So
it's like your keyboard is literally noisier than you are.
It is, like, it really is. It's not even a noisy keyboard, it's just that my microphone is relatively close to it, and there's, like, no way to position it differently. So, yeah.
I think you just need to not type.
I do my best.
In fact, I think everyone should just never use mouse and keyboards again, so I don't have incessant clicking, and then it makes my life a lot easier.
What if I play with this pen I have in my hand?
Oh yeah, and suddenly we're a 3-member cast.
It's weird. I'm listening to this podcast, and there's this blank space where it sounds like a person should be, but it's just like people say something, and then like there's a blank, no noise, and then they respond with laughter or whatever.
I mean, it's just so a metaphor for what my identity counts as under the government. So.
True. Deep.
Sick bureaucracy, Burns.
It's true. Going deep on that one. So what have you guys been up to on our fake school holidays?
I've been publishing articles around the web.
I feel so sorry for you. Are you okay?
I mean, it's been tough. Like it's been an emotional scarring experience, but I think I've got through.
I was kind of hoping it would lean into kind of like the role playing like fantasy part of it. I was going to say that I took a vacation under the sea, but congratulations on your article.
They just sort of came up like. No, I've been quite lucky that I got approached for a couple of reviews for a website called Trusted Reviews, and then I've been asked to do some more. And literally just today, at the time of recording, I've had a piece that's been in the works for a few months finally published on Anime Feminist about the Japanese idol industry. So I'm getting around.
Heck yeah!
That is really cool. Yeah, nice.
Social Annie Girl, the official anime reporter.
Well, I mean, they've all been about games apart from... And then the one on an anime website's been about Japanese idols. They've not actually been published for anime anywhere.
Official anime reporter.
Hey, don't worry. I made sure to plug some Bish. I made sure to plug some Momoclo.
That is really important. The second part, not so much, but the first part is really important.
No, the Momoclo is the most important bit.
I've not actually been listening to much Bish recently. I've not really actually been listening to them as much lately, so I've retried them.
We would have seen on your Twitter if you've been listening to Bish.
That's true.
Yeah, I know. You see my Twitter whenever I'm listening to like any music at all, so...
Whenever you do anything or think about anything, yeah.
Yeah, really. I haven't been tweeting at all like the past 2 days or so.
Me neither. I've barely used Twitter for like the last month.
You're too busy playing games, right? There's not much time to use Twitter when you're sitting on WoW.
I mean, I guess. I think it's also partly like I don't know. I've been up and down a little this month, so
I mean, I'm generally just like kind of trying to take a step back from Twitter, like every few months or so, anyway. So yeah.
I'm not trying to exactly take a step back, but I have found myself tweeting less, or my tweets have been mostly reactions to other tweets or news articles or stuff like that, instead of with less like, oh, hey, I'm doing this and I'm doing this, which to be fair, I'm doing absolutely nothing apart from going to the cinema and basically living there, so...
Oh, what do you say?
What have I not seen? I've seen Christopher Robin. I've seen
how is he?
Klansman. Oh, he's doing all right. He's been in the war a bit, but he's found some bear friends, so it's fine. But no, like I've seen like Black Klansman, Mission Impossible, Christopher Robin, Darkest Minds, and Ant-Man in the cinemas just this month.
I've heard the new Mission Impossible is really good.
It's decent. I've not got a barometer from the other films to be able to judge that, but
they're all kind of good actually. Now I think about it.
I've never seen like any of the older ones, so I can't exactly be like, oh hey, this is better than previous Mission Impossibles because this is the first one I've seen.
Sure.
Where does it fall about in the Fallout canon?
Is it before or after 76?
Actually, the funny thing was that the other day I was I've recently bought a Disney CD for my car because I love Disney music. So I was listening to Disney music in the car. The final track on the third CD is this alternate version of the Mickey Mouse March. And it honestly sounds like, you know how there's been like a trend recently with like more like horror type or post-apocalyptic stuff where they've had a recognizable track and they've like slowed it down and changed the key a little bit to like make it sound like creepy or sort of like deserted.
I don't like the sound of this.
I basically matched this version of the Mickey Mouse March to the Fallout 76 E3 trailer. I spent way too much time on that, to be honest, so... But yeah, out of all the films I've seen this month, Darkest Minds is the biggest surprise of the lot. It got mixed reviews. It completely flopped in cinemas, which means the other books aren't going to get adapted. But I loved it. I thought it was a really good film. Like, it's sort of like set in a world where 95% of kids have died of a disease, and the rest of them have gained like either heightened intelligence or some sort of psychic power. And the government sort of trying to contain them by putting them all in basically concentration camps. And some of them have escaped, and they're trying to basically get rid of the camps and overthrow the government.
I swear that's just a setup to The Promised Neverland.
It's really good. I actually bought the books because I enjoyed it so much, and I'm reading through the first one, which of course I am more familiar with from seeing the movie, and then I'm looking forward to seeing where it goes from there. But it's really good, and I do recommend it. Well, I'm not sure I can recommend it because it really leaves itself on a hook for a sequel, which it's now never going to get.
Sure.
To be honest, the budget and like tone of it feels like it possibly would have been more successful and better suited as a Netflix series instead of as a cinematic film. But it's good. It's really good. But the best one I've seen is Black Klansman. That is a brilliant, brilliant film. Set in... Yeah, it's set in the 1970s. It's based on a true story about the first black cop at a Colorado Springs police department. And they managed to, over the phone, infiltrate the KKK. So they get a white officer to play them face to face, and basically they're doing an investigation on the KKK, and it's pretty cool. And it's just a superb film.
I've seen a trailer for that. It looks pretty good.
It's visually stunning. The soundtrack is incredible. The acting's brilliant. It's definitely one of the best movies I've seen this year.
That has Kylo Ren in, doesn't it?
It has the actor for them, yes.
I was not aware it was part of the Star Wars cinematic universe.
I don't know. It's Adam something, right?
Well, I mean, the KKK are fascist, and so the...
Well, there you go. Shared universe.
Yeah, so, you know, he's got to... Well, then again, he's fighting the fascists this time, so...
Double agent Kylo Ren.
It's really good. The screening I saw was quite interesting because it had a Q&A that was live streamed after the screening from the BFI South Bank cinema, which had Spike Lee, who's a director, in attendance, and they asked questions, and it was quite interesting. But no, that's a really good film.
Cool.
Yeah.
Did you guys hear about Death Note 2?
Yes.
The best film of 2018 or 2019, depending on when it comes out.
Probably 2019. I feel like we were waiting for that first Death Note movie for ages.
I think that's because it went through like about 10 different studios, and
yeah, I feel like that's the case. I feel like Death Note was definitely one of those movies where you just hear about them for ages. Like, did I hear that the Halo movie's finally happening, and that's been like...
No, that was a TV series, but yeah.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Because that got announced when the Xbox One was announced.
But I mean, I remember them talking about like Peter Jackson doing Halo movies like back in 2007 or 2006. So,
oh.
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but that was a while ago.
I want to say it died because the Microsoft wanted too much, I think. Wanted too much money.
To be fair, any movie related to games or anime seems to get stuck in some sort of production hell.
True.
Like the Uncharted movie's only finally starting to see something. It feels like the Sonic movie's been talked about for ages.
I still can't believe that's happening.
The Sonic movie sounds absolutely...
It sounds nuts. It doesn't sound real. It sounds like a shitpost.
There was pictures from a shoot where apparently they had somebody in a green screen suit who's supposed to be representing what Sonic would be doing within the thing, sitting at the wheel of a car driving through a city.
Oh yes. This is exactly what I need.
Hang on.
It's set in a town called Green Hill.
Okay.
And I'm like, I can't wait for it either. It looks amazing.
Sonic and Ryan Reynolds, who's a cop. Isn't
Yeah,
that yeah.
Ryan Reynolds is in the movie, yes.
I can't believe Sonic is a cop.
Then again,
Sonic's definitely a cop. Are you kidding?
wait, actually, am I remembering right? Wasn't there filming recently for like the Detective Pikachu movie as well? And that's got Ryan Reynolds in as well.
Oh, maybe I'm getting these mixed up. I can't remember
maybe
who
we
it
are,
is,
but like either way, there is
yeah.
definitely a cop. But like,
Someone's a cop hanging out with Sonic. That's the important thing.
Yeah, but like you've got them. Then the Akira movie's been in like development hell for ages and still is.
Fingers crossed for Scarlett Johansson. I'm sure she's going to land something big.
Alita Battle Angel.
Oh, you know,
that's finally
let's
happening
talk about
after
that.
like 20 years.
The
that movie looks good.
Yeah, the
That
first
looks
trailer
really
looked
good.
really bad, and then the second trailer looked really good, and I don't know what changed.
Wait, you think the first trailer looked bad?
Well, I thought the first trailer, the design, that like weird uncanny valley kind of design of Alita, really just kind of put me off. And I think what happened was that my brain had processed it and gotten used to it by the time the second trailer came out.
I mean,
the second trailer does look good, but it really does look like a Disney Pixar a character in The Matrix, you know, or some kind of grungy sci-fi film.
yeah, I feel like we need to probably give some context to what this is to anybody who doesn't actually know.
Elite Battle Angel.
Like, yeah.
Oh,
and the
it-
fact- yeah.
I've heard about
It's a very famous manga.
It's famous, but like the manga's also quite old, so the anime. So like, while we would know, there's probably people who haven't.
Yeah, the thing is, like, whenever I hear about Battle Angel Alita, it's always from people that have been reading manga for
I feel like it is
20
even
years or
yeah.
something.
I feel like even in like the, you know, mass market, like
I would not
marketing,
agree
it's
that the
always,
mass market have knowledge of Alita.
I feel like it's always kind of like based on the legendary
I
comic
think most
series or something. I feel like that's definitely been said.
I think people will have heard of it. Like, not everyone, but like a good amount of people will have heard of it. But
Who's directing that film?
I think there's a lot of.
The director is Robert Rodriguez.
What?
Yes.
I was thinking it was James Cameron.
No.
No, he's the producer. He's a producer.
It's got James Cameron. Okay.
Well, James Cameron's been wanting to make the film for 20 years, but now he's hell deep in
Are we gonna see
Avatar,
fun people?
he's hell deep in Avatar sequels, so
Are
he
we
can't
gonna
direct
see?
it anymore.
Are we gonna see fun people in Alita Battle?
I hope
Is
so.
that-
Wait, no.
Robert
don't-
Rodriguez did the Spy Kids movies.
No, he did
Yes,
not.
he did.
Oh
He
my
did.
god.
He's a modern
Oh.
movie legend.
Oh my
Yes.
god, I'm having a look at the thing. He's not really done any like major film apart from Spy Kids, which is
Oh
sort
no,
of
he's
quite
done loads of
interesting.
stuff.
No, he has.
Well,
but like,
I mean,
I'm
he
looking
did
at
like the
this-
Grindhouse movies. He's done work with Tarantino. He's done TV stuff. He did Dusk Till Dawn, the TV. Well, I think he did both the film and the Netflix series.
Wait, he did the Adventures of Shark Boy and Lava Girl as well.
Did he? I didn't
That
know.
that movie was my childhood.
Spy Kids was mine.
Not gonna lie, like one of the things I remember is I really wanted to be Lava Girl. Like I remember that specifically.
I very specifically remembering wanting to put a pod into a microwave and get a Big Mac out of it.
I watched Spy
I think-
Kids 2 the other week. It was fun. I
I
highly
remember Spy
recommend
Kids
it.
1. I remember Spy Kids 1. I remember Spy Kids 3D. I have no memories of Spy Kids 2.
Didn't Netflix recently make a Spy Kids related thing?
Yeah, they made an animated TV show, and I've also seen a bit of that, and it's terrible.
Oh no!
That
It
sounds
is
really
terrible.
bad.
Then again, they made an animated like
Is there
sequel
queerbaiting
to
in it?
to the Spirit film, like
The
the
horse
Spirit
thing?
film where the horse thing, where the whole point of it is there was not much dialogue and the horses were the focus, and they made it basically, oh look at it, it's a ranch, and then we've got loads of people riding the horses, and isn't it cute? And it's like
We
this
need
completely goes against what Spirit was about.
we need a word for like pony bait or something. I don't know, horse bait. Because like there's this weird, and I think we are all aware of this. Maybe some of us were part of it. There was this weird demographic of kid, pretty much exclusively girls, who were just obsessed with horses. Like I remember girls at my school who would literally like sit and read horse books, like novels based on horses, and there were these like series of hundreds and hundreds of like horse
Yes.
stories, and that's all they would read.
Do you know how many? Do you know how many movies I see on TV each year just about some kind of horse in America that's doing something incredible? It's really. I think.
What's
it's really
the deal
weird,
with
but-
that? Hang
It's
on,
called
can we?
It's
Alicia,
called people
you need to
living
get
out
on
in the country.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is because I grew up around animals and horses, and I think they're fucking dumb big animals.
No, I don't see the appeal in horses, but I remember all of these horse books. Like, they were
Yeah,
everywhere.
and the films as well. Like I think Spirit was like a big one, but there's loads of them. Like animated movies. Alicia, I think you need to get on the scene. I think you need to get the scoop on this horse like racket or whatever's happening here.
But it's not anime.
What? Like there's
Horse-
there's an underground market of like.
I was just about to say it's the horsedom like fandom, but horsedom sounds like like a
that scene in
really
Berserk?
bad
No,
tag.
do not finish that sentence. Do not finish that trail of thought. Like I don't
mute
want to
that
hear what you
tag.
think about horse dom.
I mute that tag on DeviantArt.
Anyway. Alita Battle Angel. So it's adapting the manga, and it's also got a really, really big budget. It's like definitely by far the biggest budget anime adaptation that we've had so far. Like it's got like a $200 million budget. This film.
That's pretty big.
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Pretty
just
big.
looking forward to having like a big sci-fi movie. What was the last one? I guess
We've not
Blade
had
Runner,
one.
right?
We've not had one in a while because like the main thing of
Wasn't there?
all the big budget films end up being taken up by superheroes. Which, I mean, if you like it, it's fine. But
Not that we were drowning in like big budget sci-fi blockbusters before superheroes. I feel like it kind of is like a one every couple of years deal.
yeah,
I mean, the last big one that I can remember right now might be. What's it called? The one where they go through wormholes. I guess that's
Oh,
not
come on, Anna.
saying much, but-
They all go through wormholes. Even Star Wars.
Yeah, I just
does
realised
that.
that's not really.
Well,
saying
there's
much,
Star
is
Wars.
it?
There's the Star Trek
But-
movies as well, which are kind of like easy to forget when we're talking about the
guess.
genre. There was Blade Runner that came out last year or this year.
Yeah.
This year. But like when I think about,
And Ghost in the Shell wasn't exactly small.
I
either,
guess,
was it?
but I was thinking of like Interstellar, Valerian,
Oh,
Jupiter Ascending.
Arrival's probably the most recent
Yeah,
one.
Interstellar was the one I was thinking of.
Yeah.
Actually, Arrival's really fucking.
Arrival
good.
I've never seen
It's
it.
one of my
I watched that
favorites.
movie.
It's so
I watched
fucking
that movie
good.
on a day.
I love it.
But yeah, like it feels like at the moment a lot of the really big budget films end up being something like a superhero film, and the action films that youth dominate before it have sort of like the action films that thought the young adult adaptations, which actually Darkest Minds is one that showed how much they're sort of dying
Well, we're
off when you see
getting,
how much it flopped.
um,
But like you got like the big films used to be stuff like 2012, like Battleship.
Well, no, we've just got Skyscraper, which actually looks really good. I really want to see that.
Skyscraper's the first film like that in a while, and then we've had
True.
the Meg.
No, there was Geostorm. Do you remember Geostorm?
No.
Geostorm with Gerard Butler. It was like a satellite went rogue that can control the weather. And like I think it ends with him in the space station fighting dudes. Yeah, it's called Geostorm. It was like 2 or 3 years ago.
I can't remember that, but
It's
yeah,
the newest
like,
natural disaster movie.
we've
San
had-
Andreas, with The Rock, with the huge tidal wave.
The Rock's in everything at the moment.
He is.
So like,
Good for him.
but no, like we had the Meg recently as well, which I do not understand the appeal of at all. I don't understand it.
Oh, the Megalodon. That's right. Yeah, yeah. It sounds
Yeah.
like a rom-com, The Meg, doesn't it? Hi, my name's Meg, and I'm just trying to make it in the city.
I don't understand why it's so popular. Like it had a bigger opening weekend than fucking Ready Player One did.
Good. Well, yeah, sure. Shark movies. Shark movies deserve to get views.
Not if it looks like shit, which the Meg
No,
does.
well, they both those movies look like shit. So I would rather the shark one.
I mean,
I don't know how we turned into a movie podcast, but I'm actually here for it because I think that's one thing that we've talked about too little. Maybe is actual like movies.
I'm so bad at this though because I've seen so few of them.
I mostly just watch trailers and then end up watching them on like Netflix 2 years after they come out.
if I have I open Netflix every 5 months or something to watch anime on it, and that's it. So.
I've stopped watching movie trailers if I'm interested in a film because they just spoil too much. Like I'm not going to watch another release trailer.
What about the Mortal Engines? Talking about young adult fiction movies, the Mortal Engines was a huge series of novels for me when I was growing up about mechanical cities that move around the countryside. And
Wait, I've never heard of this, but that's getting a
it's
film?
by It's in the trailer, London eats a tiny city.
What?
Yeah,
London.
What? Yeah. So like the main city in
metaphor.
the movie, yeah, exactly. The main city, like mechanized city in the movie, is London, and it literally consumes smaller cities and scraps them apart. Yeah, it's
Well, that's a bit.
it's rad.
I've never heard of this before.
Mortal Engines. It's called.
I'm having a look at a trailer.
Have you heard about
all I'm seeing is this like walking White House and like this tank London and just like going around and having fights with each other, and I'm like, what the hell?
Wait, isn't it a Peter Jackson?
I have no idea.
Oh, something's wanting. I want to say it's Peter Jackson actually. Hang on.
Yeah, he seems to be one of the producer. I don't think he's the director. Also,
Okay.
I do like the design that the main character has, with like the scarf covering most of their face.
Oh yes, because she's got a massive scar.
I actually quite like that. It's being directed by Christian Rivers.
Don't know him.
And it's being produced by multiple people, including Peter Jackson. Christian Rivers. Let's see what they've done. They have never directed before.
Hell yeah, let's go.
They've been like. Actually, that's quite interesting. They've been storyboard artists, digital artists, visual effects people, animation directors on quite big films. Like they were an animation director on King Kong, a visual effects supervisor on The Hobbit, visual effects supervisor on the original Lord of the Rings films, designer on Narnia and stuff like that. So they've been involved in big films, but always like storyboards and art side. And yet this is gonna. No, they were a director for a short film called Feeder, but no, this is the first full-length film that they've directed.
Cool. I linked a picture.
That's cool. I like seeing that.
It's quite a big,
people...
quite a big budget film for a first film as well.
Yeah, I mean, I think it sounds like he's worked his way up, kind of in that kind of genre of movie. Especially if it's being overseen by like Peter Jackson. It sounded like he started the project in 2009, from what I saw. I linked a picture of this tiny town running away from London. Have you seen the giant lion? That's in the trailer. How cool does that look? It looks Dutch, I think. It's got like a windmill on it, maybe. I'm not sure. He's gonna get bored by London.
Yeah, I think Peter Jackson really likes him because he's
being bored.
No. Yes, Peter Jackson likes being bored.
There must be. I'm really trying to think of a scene in Shelob's Leia when
No, what I mean is that like Peter Jackson seems to really like this Christian Rivers because he's also a producer on a remake of the Dam Busters, and this same person's going to be directing that after Mortal Engines.
Have you also seen that there's a his Dark Materials TV show in the works at BBC?
I've never heard of it.
The Golden Compass or Northern Lights. They made one movie of them. It's a Philip Pullman book series. It's one of like the most famous young adult novels like ever written.
I remember the film coming out. I don't remember it being apparently any good.
Jackie, did you read Northern Lights?
No.
Oh, that was one of the.
I was busy being in London, warring other towns.
Hell yeah! It's like Mad Max, but on a really big scale. Yeah, the Northern Lights or the Golden Compass, it was its American title, was a really huge influence on me. Like it's easily the most influential young adult book I ever read, and the movie was not great, and they only made one. But it sounds like the BBC's putting a lot of its like big budget kind of works into it, which typically produces things like Sherlock. So let's see how good it is, I guess.
The BBC are working with Netflix to remake Watership Down as well.
Animation?
An animation one, but it's CG animation.
Okay.
But they're using that to remake Watership Down. And
Watership Down is trippy. Have you guys seen that film?
I
Yes.
have, yes.
Oy.
But no, they've got quite big name people for it as well. Like, it's quite big budget, this Watership Down Netflix / BBC thing, because the two of them working together. It's going to be BBC. It's going to be shown on the BBC in the UK, and then it's going to be on Netflix worldwide. Like, I'm sure there's someone. You've got John Boyega from Star Wars, who's going to be in this Watership Down film. You've got Sir Ben Kingsley. You've got quite big name people in this film.
British voice stuff does always just tend to pull out everyone. Have you ever noticed that? Even the Fable games used to be able to do that. Just like do a circuit of all the main British voice talent and get them all in. Like,
I think it's because there's not really that many English voice actors, so you just end up.
Well, no, it's not. It's just like TV personalities. Like I remember, like Fable 3. I was playing Fable 3, and I was like, "Fuck me, that's Peter Mansford."
But
He's just like this like relatively small bit comedian, you know. Like they just dragged everyone in to these.
Yeah,
I did a video recently on like this obscure British dub of Urusei Yatsura, and it has Matt Lucas. Like Anna Friel in it, yeah.
It's so weird this Urusei Yatsura.
Yeah, if
like,
you just go around the BBC saying we're recording for a cartoon, all the fucking A-list just pile into the booth. Like I don't understand it. It always happens for British animation.
There just basically is not a UK voice acting scene. I'm remembering like the Xenoblade Chronicles English dub, which is like all the British people as well. Like,
I want to know. I want the dude from Nino Cooney who did the Welsh accent. I don't know. I hope he was Welsh. Who played the fairy with the Welsh accent. I hope he goes on to do big things.
Let's have a look at who that was. I remember them being really good. Drippy was Stefan Rodri.
Oh, it was Drippy, wasn't it? That's such an unfortunate name. I hope it was like a translation that someone didn't think through, like a localization.
What? Why do you think it was like a bad name?
Are you saying what's wrong with the word Drippy?
Yes. I'm
think about the nouns that you would put Drippy in front of, and then
Drippy.
Like the safest. No, you say leaky tap. Leaky's not much better, to be fair. You would say like nose is the most family friendly it would get, and even that's pretty gross.
I don't know what you're talking about. I actually don't know what you're talking about.
It's just gross. Like nothing good is described as drippy.
But no, the Brownie the Drippy's quite a big like one, known for playing like Dave Coaches on Gavin and Stacey and Reg Cattermole and Harry Potter Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, that's literally it. It's just like, we need a British voice actor. Those don't exist. Let's get a real actor.
Yeah. but actually, you know the main person in Get Out? Like the lead actor for Get Out?
Oh, God, what's his name?
Daniel Kaluuya.
Yeah, that's it.
They're going to be in the Watership Down thing as well.
Are they British?
Apparently they're English, yeah. But yeah, I'm just going through this list and like there's just a load of like big names.
Can we talk about World of Warcraft yet? It's been 40 minutes.
Yeah,
I was about to say I was lured into this podcast to talk about World of Warcraft, and I haven't been able to talk about it.
Both me and Anna.
Talk about the Warcraft movie.
Seen in UK voice actors.
Okay.
The Warcraft movie is actually really good, and it's on Netflix. And I don't care. Like, they had two choices.
It's fun. It was fun.
They had two choices.
Yes, 4-1, yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Sorry.
football. Guys. Danger of getting Brits in the podcast.
Yeah, football's going on at the same time as we're recording, and my team just scored, and we're now winning 4-1. So
I'm not even kidding. This literally happened on the last podcast I was on as well. One of the hosts was a huge Liverpool fan, and we couldn't tear him away from the footy to record a podcast, so he would just scream halfway through recording.
To be fair, I am not watching this match. I am just getting notifications when we score, and we have
Okay.
just scored. So,
And listeners, you have to understand that Alicia supports Sunderland, and scoring is a very rare occasion.
yeah,
Well,
yes,
not today, apparently. 4's a lot.
we've been doing well this
Yeah, that's
season.
true.
It's just like the last 2 seasons we finished bottom of the Premier League, then bottom of the Championship.
Can't do much worse then.
And the best thing about that like championship thing is that Netflix decided, let's follow Sunderland. They'll go back up to the Premier League, and we can record them for a Netflix documentary.
Holy
Instead,
shit.
we got relegated,
I have
and
a
that
story about
documentary is still being made. So soon, Netflix are going to have something available worldwide about how bad last season was for us.
I can't wait
I have
to
a story
watch
about
it.
that. One of the cameramen from that documentary covered for the director of my thing, and he was telling me all about it.
About what? About
that
the-
documentary. Yeah,
It's about the Sunderland documentary.
yeah.
Were they telling
He was
them
also
how bad
saying
it
how
was?
it was mostly just how boring filming football is.
To be fair, I could probably imagine that, because a lot of it you'll just be recording the training sessions, occasionally interview the people, and a couple of other things from the matches. I can't imagine filming a documentary for a football team over a season would be that interesting, even if following a
God.
team it is.
I mean, like, the most interesting footage is like the football games itself, and usually you can just take that from
Cuts from TV.
from
yeah, but I
other
suppose you'd
games,
have to
right?
pay.
Like, you're not filming that
You'd
footage for
probably have to
yourself.
pay. Yeah.
I don't think you're allowed to.
I still think
though.
I still think the funniest
World
thing.
of Warcraft
though,
though.
can I just say one thing? Can I just say one thing before you move on? Fuck, I forgot what I was going to say. Just
Anna.
Anyway, okay,
How
go
are
on.
How are you enjoying your wonderful adventures on the continent of Zandalar?
It's been fucking great. It's been so
Have
good.
you-
This is my first time. This is my first time being around for a launch.
So
ever since
So there
Cataclysm.
is something,
And, like,
as
I
like a
was-
lifetime WoW player, there is something genuinely kind of magical about the launch of an expansion. Like, it's this one time, like, this one thing that happens every, like, 2 years, where this whole community comes together and explores. Like, it literally feels like you're discovering a new continent. Like,
yeah. I've been watching like some WoW YouTubers again, like I do
Bellywa.
occasionally, and like the way they've described it is like it's the only time where it feels like an RPG.
kind of, yeah.
Like usually like WoW is not really. an
Yeah,
RPG,
well, it's
right?
streamlined.
just-
Like, the players at this point have streamlined World of Warcraft to where it's kind of like a. It's like you have add-ons that tell you how to do everything the most efficient way possible, and nothing kind of feels special.
Exactly.
It's all numbers.
exactly. So like questing and like leveling through it, and like especially when everything is new and you don't know what's coming next, it's like the only time when it's not that way. And God, I love it.
Plus,
every time.
they've
So
done
good.
such a good job, like integrating cutscenes and like really good story quests into the
There's,
game
like,
now.
There's like so many cutscenes this time,
Mhm,
right?
mhm.
Right? Like last time
And
there's
voice
like
acting as
usually there's true,
Lots of
true.
voice acting around,
Like-
like just like small lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, even like Vol'dun, where like all the Volpira just sit around, and every single one of them is voice
Well,
acting.
yeah. Well, I mean, they have like some pop-up lines every now and again, and typically when you start a quest, like,
I mean, yeah, but like
what happens now is, which I think is a really good middle ground, because like the age old like vanilla WoW design of click on the exclamation mark above this dude's head, you get a wall of text telling you why you need to fetch like 5 hyena ears, which no one read. Like only really only a certain type of gamer would sit and read all of that quest text. It would have been
Yeah.
hundreds of pages worth of like text to go through.
And that person was Anna.
I tried it. I specifically rolled a character once with the explicit intention of reading quests as I went, and I got to level 25 and stopped.
I've the character I'm playing right now, 120 Paladin. I did that.
Yeah.
I knew you would be the person to.
completely through. I've read
I
every
knew
quest
it.
text.
Anna,
love
can
reading quest texts.
I ask you a question that I'm actually very invested in the answer to? And like I'll feel really bad depending on what your answer is.
I can't. I'm looking
Are
forward to
you
this.
glad? Are you
It's scaring me
glad,
like this.
based on this expansion worth of content, that I talked you into making a horde character
I think I would have made a whole character either way, like for this
for
expansion.
this expansion?
Like, because I want, like, I would want
How
to.
you know the Alliance don't get Bwonsamdi?
Okay, I mean,
they don't
that
get
is a
Talanji
good
or
point.
Zoldazar. They get like a crappy like one tier like port town.
I mean, I've heard really good things about Kulturas as well.
You can
so,
go
like, I'm
there.
looking
You
forward
can
to
go
questing
there
that.
and just run around.
I'm gonna do it.
I was killing people in Kulturas today.
Oh yeah, but I want to quest through it.
Okay. Oh yeah, go like
wanna
do an
quest
Alliance
through it.
character. I see what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I still have like 2 boosts left, so I'm totally
Cool.
gonna do that. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with my Horde character, honestly. It's like most of my friends play Horde anyway, so
Well,
right now it's pretty good.
I feel like the Horde continent. It's the first time they've ever done this to bring in E2. It's the first time they've ever made an expansion where the Horde is on one continent and the Alliance is on the other, and they're questing through completely different zones and completely different stories. Because this whole expansion is based on like the whole Horde versus Alliance thing that's kind of been, really not particularly integral to the overall story of World of Warcraft at all.
I thought that was like the main driving point. What the
well,
fuck?
it's like a community. It's a community thing
It's
rather
like-
than a story thing. Because like
Yeah.
if you think about,
It's really like it's always the part where we start, but it's never the part
this
where
is
we
this
end.
is the typical this is the typical World of Warcraft expansion story loop is Horde and Alliance discover a new continent, rush to get a foothold on the continent, have small skirmishes around the edges. Big bad guy appears, the Lich King's gonna take over the world. Horde and Alliance have to join forces and put aside their differences to tear down this mighty evil. New expansion. Oh, I want this landmass, it's mine.
It sounds like a
Fuck you,
series of
Alliance.
Precure.
That literally happened for like 4 expansions in a row. Leading up to I guess Wars of Draenor really had very minimal Horde vs Alliance stuff. Because
I mean, to be fair, like Warlords of Draenor was like, I think the story was like 50 people or something get on the new continent. And
Kind of,
because,
yeah.
We were fucking going through dimensions.
yeah, it was
and all.
like you and a very select group of people got sent back in time to fix a timeline. Yeah, it was kind of really small scale in a way.
Yeah. Draenor's a really
It is a
weird
really
expansion.
weird expansion, yeah.
Honestly.
But they followed up the whole like Siege of Orgrimmar, like the fall of Garrosh Hellscream thing, which I think was like amazing in Mists of Pandaria, where they'd spent like
Yeah, I wasn't
4 expansions building up what was essentially a Horde dictator, an ethnic dictator, this orc who wanted to, and he was like posed as this military genius that no one could match. Like his Horde were actually like destroying the Alliance victory after victory. And it was like at the point where the Alliance were basically getting ready to, like, they were going to lose until the other half of the Horde decided that they were going to rebel against Garrosh because he was evil. He was a fascist. Yeah, I felt that was amazing. I'm really sad I didn't play the game at that point because I'm a huge nerd for the lore. I love it.
It never came
for
through
sure.
at all, Brooke.
I mean, the WoW lore has always been like super interesting.
It's kind of,
Like,
yeah. It's kind of
it's
like
I don't think I could ever say that the WoW lore is amazing or anything, or like incredibly detailed. It's incredibly detailed, but it's like not super.
90% of World of Warcraft villains boil down to good guy. Once was a good guy, but was corrupted by the Burning Legion or the Old Gods. Literally the only villain.
I mean, by now we can literally just say the Void, right?
Well, yeah,
And
the Old
it's
Gods are the
accurate.
Void. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I guess Burning Legion isn't.
The Burning Legion.
I guess
Okay, here we go.
They're actually
The
fighting
Burning
Void,
Legion.
yeah.
Their whole thing is like, if we let creation get tainted by the Void, it's worse than if we just destroy everything. Like their whole thing was just like, we're just going to wipe out reality so that it can't be corrupted. Yeah. Oh, it's so good. There's so much personality in this continent.
Yeah, I think like the you know what this continent, especially like Zoldazar, what it reminded me of.
Well, I get a lot of Mists of Pandaria vibes where there's such a strong art direction.
Exactly.
Such a strong and kind of like a cultural, like.
I think it's less for me it's less the art direction, but what it really reminded me of is Jade Forest.
Yeah.
Because like it's very similar in like the way it's built, the idea of like exploring the land, like getting to interact with the trolls, talking to them, kind of
your visitors. Like that's the thing. It's
live.
like a lot of the time, like
Yeah.
Northrend, Outland, are these landmasses that have been taken over by this evil, right? And you have to go and you have to take back the land from this evil. Where the pandas were living very happily until the Horde and Alliance showed up and started fighting, And same with these guys in this expansion. We're literally visitors. We have an embassy in their city, Yeah, I think there is definitely a very big cultural discussion to be had around World of Warcraft because, like, one expansion was based around Chinese-inspired pandas, which had tons of Chinese influences in architecture, and this is very much oh god, the trolls are like a weird mishmash of African, Jamaican, and like Aztec, which I think looks visually stunning, but it really does make you like, I honestly don't know how to feel about this sometimes,
I mean, I guess it's not exactly the most. It's not the greatest bit of representation, really, but it's not really something that's bothered me all that much personally. Though
I kind of wish there weren't any
part of
humans.
those
I
groups,
genuinely
so-
wish there weren't any humans in World of Warcraft, and it was just fantasy
Really?
races. Yeah, I think that would be so much more interesting. It was just elves, dwarves, orcs, trolls, tauren, undead. Well, I guess the undead had to come from somewhere, but you know what I mean. So then you don't have this situation where you're like a Black Alliance character going and exploring Zandalar as like, I don't know whose heritage is this, I guess, if you're playing if your character in game is literally a black human, it's a little weird, but I feel like everything is handled with such creativity and like, I don't know, I've actually kind of wanted, I really want to hear kind of like what people of color make of it all, because I genuinely don't know what to think. I thought the same thing during Mr. Pandaria as well, which I think Asian themes are... This is nothing new with Asian stuff, right? Where I feel like it's far more... it's a road far less travelled with what they're doing with the trolls. Yeah, I don't know. But I want to just enjoy it for what it is, really.
Yeah, same here. I mean, aesthetically, at the very least, it's like ridiculous.
It is.
Like it's. I think Zoldazar is the best looking zone I've ever seen in WoW.
Those mountains are incredible, aren't they?
Yeah, I
They
mean
look
the
painted.
entire city.
Yeah,
like
it all looks painted.
Yeah, it does.
How could the
I love it.
turtles?
Oh my god, I love it so much.
You guys need to. I tell you what, Jackie, Alicia, you guys need to come on down to Azeroth and have a jolly good time
Yes.
with us.
I'd rather.
You can level the first. You can level the first 20 levels for free. So.
Yeah.
I'd rather not.
Oh, it's
so good.
whimsical.
Though. It's so good. I love.
I told you, I'd rather they bring back Toontown.
Club Penguin.
I've never played Toontown, but I would so play that over.
You do have to be, I don't want to like put in a disclaimer. You have to be very careful with MMOs.
They take over your life and stop you hearing Discord notifications.
I mean,
kind of.
I just realized today that I've been playing WoW for 10 years now.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I've realized that World of Warcraft is a game that like I guess I'm never gonna quit.
Yeah, I don't think I either. I think I don't really know anyone that I don't actually I know a few people, but I know really few people who used to play WoW and are not like at least interested.
Yeah.
In like
I think they're killing it
getting
though.
that
That's
again.
the thing. I think the Legion
it's
and
really good
VFA
right now.
have. I think what we're seeing with WoW is kind of what we've seen with Nintendo recently, where like the people who are inheriting the studio are the people who grew up loving it, and I really feel like you feel that in WoW at the minute. Because like Chris
could be,
Metzen's
actually,
left, you know that, right? He left at I think at the end of Legion, and you know, like I can't remember how much. I think Jeff Kaplan was kind of a big deal in World of Warcraft before he went on to do Overwatch. I think that was actually around Cataclysm was when he left to start the Overwatch project. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think that's right.
I think he was doing the StarCraft shooter thing before Overwatch as well,
Possibly.
and that got cancelled. And then he started doing Overwatch. So I think around Cataclysm.
Well, I mean,
probably
because
makes
I
sense,
remember
they were,
around
like,
Cataclysm was when we
really
started talking about Project Titan, which was the
exactly.
the big next Blizzard property, because obviously you've got the trifecta of Diablo, StarCraft, and Warcraft.
Yeah, I think Titan was like supposed to, I'm not sure if it was really StarCraft.
Titan was, and I think Jeff's actually we're on first name terms, by the way. I feel like the entire Overwatch player base is on first name terms with Jeff. He's done such an amazing job.
Probably.
Over on that team with like his public facing like videos and stuff. Yeah, he was I think he's talked about what Titan was. It was a futuristic MMO. Kind of not like they reused a lot of stuff into Overwatch, I think.
Oh yeah.
Lore wise.
Yeah. There was like a panel a bunch of BlizzCons ago where he talked a lot about this stuff.
I think it's fascinating.
It was really good.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I kind of would love to see Blizzard do another MMO, but at this point, why would they?
I mean, don't they have like something else planned?
I remember seeing a news story about like Blizzard hiring for an unnamed new IP or something.
Exactly.
They're more likely to make a games as a service new IP than they are to make a new MMO at this point. Because I don't.
Oh yeah. No, MMOs are dead. Why would they? I think like here's the thing: since World of Warcraft came out, every MMO has been chasing it, and all of them failed. You know?
I'm not sure if this was a thing only in German.
I mean,
like,
Final Fantasy 14 says high.
Like, do you remember things like Rift or something?
Oh yeah,
Rift was, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's going to kill."
Rift was an amazing game.
I mean,
it's still going. It's still active. They still put out expansions. This is what people found. Rift. It's oh god.
I have no idea what it's about anymore. Anyway, it's like it was like an MMO that came out like around Cataclysm or something. I think.
Yeah.
Well, 2008 or something.
Yeah, it was around then. But like in the end, World of Warcraft killed World of Warcraft because you saw what you saw in the MMO space was World of Warcraft at its peak had I think 14 million monthly paying members, which is a huge amount of players.
Yeah.
You know,
it's lower now. I think
way lower.
Yeah.
The current player base I think is around 4 or 5 million, which is still the number one MMO, and those players aren't playing other MMOs.
Is it though? Because I'm sure Final Fantasy 14's about that number.
I'm not sure. I would check it, but I really don't think it is. But I mean, you've got other MMOs in the space. Old Republic still does fine. Elder Scrolls Online still does fine. Final Fantasy 14 is probably the biggest other MMO. But yeah, like it's like those.
Melissa, can you have different characters on a single account in Final Fantasy? Because it says 13 million here, but it says characters.
See, that's like created characters. That's surely.
I have no idea. I know nothing about Final Fantasy 14.
Let's see if I can see something. Player statistics. All characters, active characters, 620,000, so not even 1 million. That's worldwide.
Oh yeah, there it is, yeah. Well, that's
right now, there's probably somewhere between 4 and 5 million people playing World of Warcraft. It's still massive compared to every other MMO, you know? And like I say, those 40 million people to the 5 million people playing now, those guys aren't playing MMOs, they're playing Fortnite, they're playing League of Legends, they're playing all of these other games and all these other genres that popped up since World of Warcraft.
It feels like this keeps happening to Blizzard, because like isn't that kind of what happened to RTS as well?
Kind of, like, I guess. Blizzard, yeah, sure.
Blizzard released Warcraft and Warcraft 3, and they released StarCraft 2.
Gaming is a very young and very fluid medium. Like the genre that dominates the industry changes constantly. Like we've literally seen it go from being MMOs to MOBAs to battle royales, you know? Mm-hmm. And it'll be something else in 10 years, you know? So I think the idea of a WoW killer is flawed concept to begin with, really. You know?
I don't think it'll
because
exist.
No one ever really talked about the League of Legends killer, did they? Everyone was chasing it, but we didn't use that term, you know? I think we learned that it just doesn't work like that.
I mean, at this point, honestly, I think WoW is just too big to die.
Well, I mean,
at this point.
You can have
it'll die eventually.
We talk about Final
Fantasy
XIV being incredibly successful, and it's got 500,000 active players, right? World of Warcraft can shrink 10 times and still be a completely successful, viable MMO. And that's already shrunk
Yeah.
massively from what it was, you know? So World of Warcraft will literally
Yeah,
be
I
around
think-
forever.
I'm pretty sure like World of Warcraft was one of the most profitable games still last year or something.
Profit?
Right?
Maybe. I think maybe
Like-
like Hearthstone would be really high up there for profit. Can you imagine how many
Might be.
people you
I'm
need
not sure.
to hire for Hearthstone? Like, oh, don't get me wrong, I'm sure there is a lot of
But-
people involved, but compared to
yeah.
other games in that space on that scale, it would be nothing. Like, I'm sure they have 10th of the
Mm.
employees of working for them.
Card
They're-
games
but
are just
at the same
unfair
time-
anyway.
World of Warcraft is 4 to 5 million people paying €12 every month. That's like,
and there's more than that as
like, I
well,
don't-
because the WoW token
Yeah.
is a brilliant way of bringing in more. There's more active
God.
game time than there are players at the minute because of the WoW token sitting on the auction house. The way that works.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm convinced
Blizzard's-
that MMOs are just the precursor to cryptocurrencies.
I mean, you're not in a weird way. You're not wrong because I mean, oh my god, there's been such a long history of gold selling in World of Warcraft and every MMO, you know, of like people who would start businesses are based on selling in-game gold in a real way. Like gold in World of Warcraft might be one of the very first original digital currencies, you know, that has exchange rates and whatnot. And that whole WoW token system is pretty much a direct copy of the Plex system that EVE Online introduced, and it completely killed gold selling. It put gold selling in
Yeah,
the
I mean,
hands
that's
of the
the-
player.
I think that was the point
exactly.
of it,
It put
'cause,
gold
like,
selling
you-
in the
you-
hands of the player, and you
I
can't.
I can't believe World of Warcraft's going to change the future of finance.
It's gonna replace the pound.
Oh wow, God! If I could pay my rent in World of Warcraft gold, I might actually be able to move out. But like World of Warcraft, you can actually play for free now. If you pay, you can pay your subscription in WoW Gold because someone else who buys WoW tokens for in-game money has bought your game time. Like he bought game time and you bought it off him. Yeah, the way it works. Yeah, it's a token that counts as.
That's my goal right now. That's my
Yeah.
goal right now to be able to do that, but I'm a bit far off still.
I bought one WoW token when like I was maxed out my overdraft and I literally couldn't pay for game time. I was like, how much gold do I have on my character? Just enough for a WoW token.
Oh my god.
I just checked; it's actually not that expensive.
Yeah,
right
so
now.
it
It's
was
only,
it
like,
was
exactly like it's below.
it was
200K.
200k.
Right now,
I
even.
spent 350k on a WoW token. It's
wow,
really
yeah.
gone down.
That's a lot
Yeah.
more. I would go ahead and buy it now, but I don't have the gold for it. Sadly, I wish I did. But yeah,
Once you
I
start
mean,
selling flask, you should
I'm-
have enough gold.
I don't have the mats for flasks.
I've got these really good farming routes and Okay, so there's this item that blacksmiths can make called stirrups, that make it so you can mine and herb from your mount without getting off your mount. You can get an enchant for your gloves that increases herbalism speeds by like 400%. So you literally like instantly gather the herb, and you can get an item that level workers make called a saddle, which means you can't be knocked off your mount by mobs.
How much is that total?
For all of those things, it's probably about like 3k, 4k, and they last 2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah,
2
yeah,
hours.
yeah.
Okay.
They last 2 hours. I can hook you up for some of that. I can hook you up. Yeah, I'll hook you up.
Hook you up with that. With those virtual WoW items. The
It was
good
really
shit.
nice when I was online with the guildmates before the expansion came out. I saw Anna in guild chat on her paladin that I helped to make like a few years ago. I was like, "Is that my friend Anna?" I see you in my guild chat. I had no idea you were going to be playing for the expansion.
I bought it. Neither did I really. I bought the expansion and game time the day before it launched. Like, I think literally like 12 hours before.
But it's
before it
such an
launched or
exciting
something.
experience.
It
You
was-
really should never miss it. Even if you only
It
play
is.
WoW for a month every 2 years, if you play on the expansion launch, you're going to have an amazing time.
Yeah, it's been really, really cool. Like, this has been like some of the most fun I've had playing WoW.
You
Really
guys should
happy with
come.
it.
You guys should come. Come
Yeah,
hang in
please.
Zandalar with
In
Talanji.
2 years, you'll be hot. In 2 years, you can join us for the next
Expansion.
launch. Come on.
No, I would get nothing done if I try to get into an MMO, especially with the fact that I already pay too much Fortnite at the moment. So
Yeah.
Fortnite's free.
Fortnite is free, which makes
Fortnite
it better
is
than
free.
an MMO.
Yeah.
I mean, you can play WoW for free.
Technically. If you have a sponsor, well,
Technically.
you need someone to buy. Well, no, technically, the way it works is you can actually, with gold, buy Battle.net balance. You can buy Overwatch for World of Warcraft gold. It's a genuine. I'm telling you, it's a genuine digital currency, like cryptocurrency. Yeah,
Anyway, should we look at closing things off?
I think so. Yeah, let's keep
Alright.
it. Let's keep it short so we can get it out pretty quickly because I think we're way off schedule. This isn't going to go up
Yeah.
around the weekend. I
Well,
don't think.
just a bit.
All right,
A teeny tiny bit.
trans culture. Who wants to go first?
You can't expect us to be prepared for this.
This, yeah.
Yeah.
Jackie, what
Yeah.
is trans culture?
Oh, don't ask me. I'm playing Tetris.
There we go.
After all
trans
this
culture.
crap about us playing World of Warcraft and recording a podcast, I closed World of Warcraft so I could record. And I didn't.
Honestly,
I just opened it again when we started
I think
talking
I'm gonna-
about
I'm gonna
it,
launch
'cause
WoW.
I was looking for
Tetris
inspiration.
is like my therapy, right? You just have it on in the background. It lets you concentrate on other things. I recommend Tetris to everyone. If you're listening to this now, go play Tetris.
Trans culture is coming out to your online gaming friend community 2 years ago and being at a weird point now where half of your friends online use your pronouns and half of them don't. And yeah, that's trans culture, I guess.
You know what doesn't misgender you? Tetris.
It probably does though.
Play Tetris.
Oh.
Trans culture this week is even being misunderstood.
only Tetris understands me.
Trans culture. I don't know.
Hey, you set this off.
Lit has come
Yeah,
online.
I'm online.
Trans culture is pestering people for multiple weeks to record a podcast, but they won't because they're too busy playing World of Warcraft. And even when they
Yeah.
finally record, they continue to play World of Warcraft or
Yeah.
launch it during the recording itself.
Yeah. I'm making money moves right now, by the way, guys. I just got some anchor weed collect on the delivery.
I'm not gonna lie. I think Tetris is probably the best trans culture we're gonna ever have.
Possibly. I think if you really want to understand gender as a concept, you really first have to understand Tetris as a concept.
To be
Did you
fair,
see
you
that
have to
there?
have a very high IQ to understand Tetris.
It's true, and gender as well. See, some genders fit nice and neat into the slot and get really high points. Some genders are wonky and don't really go anywhere, and are really like those get put in the bank and not really used for a while, and then maybe eventually you can use that like S block. But
And don't forget,
I think this fell apart really badly.
some tetraminos require a T-spin to be able to understand them, and then just got to clear it all away.
and
some
don't
people-
forget that the straightest one is the most valuable one.
it's true. If you want to, the most points you can score from a single gender is the straight one. Trans culture is Tetris. That's a group decision, I think.
Yes.
Yes, I think so. Does that mean I win for the first time? In
Yeah,
my life, or
you
is that
win,
Jackie
but
winning?
it's like one of those group projects where you did no work and got an A. Like Jackie put in all the work into this Tetris bit and still got the same grade as
That's
Anna.
the only
who did
way
no
I can
work.
win these. That's the thing. That's the only way I can win these.
Well, that's a podcast.
Trans culture. No. Can I name a different trans culture? Trans culture is stealing the trans culture this week to make a tweet before anybody else can.
Oh, fuck you! I wasn't gonna do it anyway, but
This
like,
is copyright.
I respect the hustle, I guess.
We're gonna sue Alicia, our own editor, for stealing content.
Oh no!
The Trans Culture Podcast is now looking for editors. Please tell us
Okay,
what you can edit. our podcast
That,
very
but
soon.
unironically.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
true.
a second editor would be nice.
a second
please.
editor would be really nice because we were when we first started, we were kind of we had 3 editors, and one of our editors, the lovely Dago, has actually I guess I need to touch base and see, but he was having like a job interview, and it sounded like his workload was just going to get too much for I mean, basically what we're asking is work for free at the minute. None of us are making any money off this. So, and then Jared also couldn't really commit because he was looking at working 2 jobs. So then we had to make Alicia a host to guilt her into doing all the... I'm joking.
Yeah.
That's a joke. But no, we really were...
Except it's not.
No, you became a host because we also needed more hosts.
Yeah.
Because as
so-
you can see, scheduling, even with the 7...
I think 8 hosts or something.
7? No, 7 hosts
yeah,
that we
7,
have.
7,
Scheduling
7.
podcasts is still really difficult. So,
I'm the only editor and I'm a host as well.
yeah. So another editor would be immensely appreciated. So if you're interested, literally just get in touch with like any of us on Twitter, or I think we have an email which someone checks. Maybe,
I check
probably
it.
not.
I know Lachlan checks it as well because she always deletes all the emails that come through, which are just like YouTube notifications.
Nice. I should sign the email address up for stuff. But yeah, we're gonna try, I guess, to get back to a regular schedule. Lachlan and Zaria have been extremely consistent with their content, but tying them down to a time for podcasts has been difficult with the move, and it seems like they're both busy as well. So,
Brooke, let's do like a weekly Wildcast.
a weekly Wildcast, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh my
please.
god,
I
I
don't-
remember.
You
Those were
can't
some of the
get-
first
no, you
podcasts
can't get
I ever
one
listened to.
podcast.
Shout out to the Instance podcast, which was one of the very first ever World of Warcraft podcasts that came out like way back in like Burning Crusade. It was like one of the first big gaming podcasts ever. I used to listen to that all the time. I think that was even before iTunes did podcasts. They literally hosted it on a website.
Fuck is a website?
I don't know. Squarespace.com. Use the code. Use the code TransCultureClub for 10% off at that checkout. Maybe if enough people use a code, they'll give us a sponsorship on the podcast.
Can we just bug them for a code?
Maybe.
Like, enough people are using this code, we might as well make it real.
Anyhow.
Yeah, we'll try and get back to a regular schedule, but I think it might be a little bit too early to like commit to it again. But obviously the goal is to get back to weekly uploads, and just get things settled down. Like herding trans people to do a podcast is like herding cats, and yeah, it's a busy time at the minute for a lot of us, I think. But yeah, we're not going anywhere at the very least. We might just be less consistent for a while. And Book Club TB, more details TBC. The Book Club is turning into one of these like Halo movie projects. It will get done eventually, but we can't really give a date for that at the minute.
Yeah.
So yeah, well, that wraps it up. We've done all the things we needed to do. Let's get out of here. This is our first podcast back after the school holidays, and we don't want to stay too late. I want to get home and play WoW. So we'll see you guys when we see you. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.